So I brought you back to where I actually fell off. So I came around that corner there and I was looking over there out at the harbour and out at the whole harbour wall. All this grass, there was like that, where that man is with his dogs now. There was a lady walking a dog but on a lead. The road was empty like this. So I was coming along here, and because I get a stiff neck, I'd got my left hand on the bars and I was reaching round with my arm, sort of doing that with my left arm as I got to this point and looking over towards that outer wall. And then as we get here, there's this gap here, and then that's where the wind came, and then this is where I hit the tarmac, because that wind just blew the bike and I went smash on the tarmac about here. So nothing wrong with the tarmac, just me. And then I got up off the tarmac, sort of got myself out of the road and went and sat on that grass just over there. And then afterwards, once I'd composed myself and the lady had retrieved my bike, I walked back through those garages and over the bridge which is up there, which you won't be able to see because of the sun. But I'm just going to loop back round and then we'll head back, and then I'll talk to you back inside. But yeah, nothing on the road, it was just like this, completely empty. Nothing on it, there's just those speed humps, but I was in between the speed humps and it's just where the wind whipped through after that house. So it was just purely my fault because I just wasn't expecting it. The wind at the minute is coming towards the camera straight, but the wind was coming gusting from that side. But it was picking up, it wasn't that much and it was picking up, that's what happened. So it's just because I'd fallen asleep and wasn't paying attention. It's one of those things. You know, I've not fallen off for, or I hadn't fallen off for 9 or 11 years, is it? 2009 I fell off, that's 11 years. And why did I fall off then? Can't remember now. Well, I landed on my head, that was it. Cyclocross training, my foot slipped, went in the spokes, and then it catapulted me over the handlebars and landed on my head. That's what happened. So yeah, right, see you back inside. So hello again, welcome to another video. Welcome to, I think it's probably post-surgery update 2. I think. So we've got coffee. Cheers. Today is Saturday. What date is it? It's the 15th of August. So tomorrow, Sunday, will be 4 weeks since I fell off, since my accident. It's been a week since I've videoed, since I've vlogged, and basically I've just not felt like it. Obviously no cycling, I haven't felt like videoing, vlogging, etc. Excuse me, I've got an irritating thing stuck at the back of my throat because I've just eaten something. I get that sometimes. Hence the drink. Anyway, yeah, so Thursday was it? Yeah, it was Thursday. I had my review at the hospital, which I had to chase up because they'd forgotten me, they'd missed me off the system. So I had my review, went up, had some x-rays. I think I had 4 x-rays taken, 2 views of my elbow, 2 of my collarbone, different angles, and sutures out of the elbow. The ones in my collarbone are dissolvable, we'll show you that in a minute. And basically it's all going to plan. I've got to a stage now where I've cut down on my painkillers. I'm not taking the opiate based ones anymore, I'm just on paracetamol, and instead of doing 4 times a day, the last 2 days I'm trying to do 3 times a day. I've just been out and just had a little walk round without my sling. So the last 2 days I've not had my sling on at all. And I've just had a little walk round and I've just videoed a bit that I'll show you in a minute without the sling. So now this is sore. My elbow's okay, but basically the main thing I've got to do now, the important thing, is get the range of motion back in my elbow. So I'll use my right arm as a demonstration. So basically what I've got to be able to do is bend it as far as you can up and as far as you can down. If I just stand up, straighten it out that way, but also rotate the palm, so sort of that way and that way as far as you can. Now I've already got that motion back pretty much, because that's not the bone that broke that's involved with that, it's the other one that rotates. So I do know what the x-rays look like, I've seen the x-rays, but I won't show you because I'm not meant to. It's data protection probably and everything. But I'll show you some stock images in a bit, I'll insert them and I'll sort of annotate it, or I'll explain it. So with this arm, if I stand here so you can see it, so there's my left arm. So palm up, rotate it, and I can go all the way down to palm down. So I can already do that. I've still got a dressing on, you'll see I've still got a dressing on, I'll show you that in a sec, I'll explain that. So that's as far up as I can bend it. I can pull it more, but it's pulling on the dressing. And then down, I can go, at the moment, to about there. And then what happens is, if you've ever been to the gym, because it's been bent for so long, that tendon on your bicep goes tight. So if I rub that a bit, it will allow me to just bend it that little bit more. There we go, so it's just going down a little bit more. So basically I've got another few degrees to go here. So basically I'm only, what, 2 days post being told to do that, so that's going fine, but that's the really important bit, because a lot of people, when they have fractured elbows, you spend so long in your sling like this, and then afterwards you can't straighten it, and then they have to go and have surgery again to try and straighten it, and it still doesn't work. So my dad broke his elbow when he was 5, he was dropped, he can't straighten his elbow, it wasn't operated on, it was just left. The lady that was x-raying me, the radiographer, she said the same, she'd fallen off her bike, broke her elbow, she had to have another operation, still can't straighten her elbow, so it's really important to get that back. So with my collarbone, they plated it, I've got a plate, the angle, I'll show you. So there were dissolvable stitches here, so I've got a plate running from, there's my scar going across there, which is actually pretty good. I have got some numb areas across there, that's weird that is, because it's like, comes back to normal about here. So there's altered sensation across here. They've obviously damaged nerves, and across there and down my arm a little bit, and then the plate runs across the top. I've got 3 screws here on this side, on the main bit here, and then I've got 3 screws holding the other bit there, and then there's a gap in the middle. I don't know whether you'll be able to make out, about there's an X, that's the blue X, that's where the fracture was. There's a tiny gap, there is a gap, so this hurts, this gets sore, this does. It's comfortable a lot of the time, like it's easing down now I'm settling. That doesn't make sense, does it? It's settling down now I'm sat down and not moving about. It's still sore. But what it does not like is travelling in the car. So journeys, it does not like at all, and that's because it's flexing and bending. My elbow, once I've got it down and provided I'm not leaning on the wound, it's comfortable. Excuse me, cheers again. I'll also insert a picture of my bruising that I had. Now my bruising that I had, the majority of that bruising is because I take an antiplatelet because of my heart attack and my stents that I had. To prevent clotting landing on the stents and damaging the stents, you take an antiplatelet. Blood thinner, which means that if I fall off or bang myself or whatever, I do tend to bruise easily and bleed a little bit more. Now I didn't have any problems stopping bleeding. But let's see if we can show you this elbow now. There's not a lot to show you at the minute because it's got a dressing on. I've got to keep the dressing on for 2 days. I'll put the picture in. So I can take this dressing off later today, and then I'm hoping it won't pull as much when I'm bending my elbow. What I am getting trouble with is where I've banged my muscles. So on my leg, this left leg, I've still got a sore spot here, a really tender point here on that thigh muscle, about there, and then I've got a bit on my hip here that keeps going into spasm, and it's a real flipping nuisance. It keeps going really tight. I got on the bike yesterday, I did 20 minutes on the turbo. First time in nearly 4 weeks. Might do a little bit later as well. But enough of that waffling. Let's get on to some other stuff. So I'm going to take you through in a minute and I'm going to show you the bike. I'm going to show you a few things on the bike. So I've been messaging backwards and forwards with Bickmore, the bike insurance company. The saddle will be covered by the insurance, my clothing will be covered by the insurance. There was a mark on the head tube which is insignificant. But I mentioned that I wasn't, I was concerned about the stem, the carbon stem, because the stem had rotated on the steerer tube and it was torqued to 4 Newton meters. So what I decided was that I'd take the stem off and have a look, and actually you can see now where it has actually marked the steerer tube, the carbon steerer tube, and it was not like that before, and I can actually feel the ridge, and I'll put some pictures in. So I'm going to talk to them, I'm going to send them another email, a reply to them. I think my pedals are working, because I tried that yesterday, they looked okay. And then we'll either send off the just the fork, or the frame and the fork, depending on what they say. So the lever damage was on the trim, that's cosmetic, that's not covered. So before they run out and while you can still get them, we've got a little package to open. Let's do this, and this is the little trim piece. I should have got my penknife, shouldn't I? Because what I can't do yet is pull very hard with my left hand. I can use it, I can move it round, I can do buttons up, but I can't get very high up. But what I can't do is put a lot of force on with it. There we are. I'm in it now. Am I? There you go. So it's a little trim piece that I've damaged. Well, there should be screws in there as well. Yeah, there is. There's 2 little screws. So that will replace that when we come to it. But I ordered that. I thought I'd get that already. That was on eBay. It was under £10. But whilst it's still available now, the other issue that we've got is the damage to the left pedal body, which they might cover, they might not. If they don't, it's not a big deal because the pedal bodies are only £45 anyway, so, and that includes a set of bearings. So what I might do if they don't cover it is just get a set of the later pedal bodies that have got the broader range of they go from 8 Newton meters to 22, whereas mine go from 11 to 22. Different colour spring. No point getting a left that doesn't match a right, so we'll see what happens. But of course I'm not going to be back on the road for a long time until this is totally healed and is strong enough. I've got to go back in 4 weeks for an x-ray again, presumably to check this and see how I'm doing. The physio contacted me yesterday, he rang me yesterday, and basically he just wants me to do those range of motion exercises, no loads, but I bet that I have to go to the gym, and I bet you that I have to do some strength exercises and continue them afterwards, which is no bad thing, to be honest, particularly when you're up here and you're climbing. So for me, it's really imperative that I get the full function back of that arm and that shoulder. The shoulder joint, doing that, there's very little movement from the clavicle. The clavicle just basically comes in and touches your scapula right on the end here. There is a little joint, but it doesn't do much, so I'm not worried about that yet. I have got movement in that. I can lift it up, but not far yet, because it's not strong enough. It starts to hurt here, and I can move it backwards a bit, and I can move it forwards a bit. So I'm not worried about that joint, because it's stressing this, and this is the bit that hurts where it's still not healed in the middle. So I won't push that yet, but I'll push the elbow, because the elbow x-ray looks good. So let's put in some pictures now. I'll put in the bruising first. That's quite impressive, isn't it? I'll put in the collarbone, the clavicle beforehand. That's not my picture, that's just one off the internet that's similar to mine. I'll put in the elbow again that's similar, stock one off the internet. With mine, there's a huge gap. It's probably about 1 centimetre, if not more. You could drive a bus through it. It's that big. And then we'll put in a stock picture that I found on the internet of a collarbone repair that is similar to mine. And now I'll put in an elbow repair that's wired that's similar to mine. Right, let's go through, let's have a look at the bike. Right, so here we are. I've lost my coffee. Where have I put my coffee? Here it is. Hang on, slurp. Right, so, a couple of Allen keys. The mark on the head tube was here. There's a little bit on there and a little bit here. And they just wiped off with a baby wipe. The lever here, that's the trim piece that we'll replace. And it's basically, it's just not the plastic off, it's not the paint off. So we can replace that, straighten the lever. There's a little bit of damage to that hood piece there. This rubber comes off there. So I'll get a little bit of sandpaper and just take that edge off there. There's a little rough edge on the plastic, but that's not doing anything to anybody. And then I'll show you this, so I'll just take off the stem cap. There. I've grabbed the wrong 2 Allen keys. I've grabbed the big one and that one. I'll be back in a sec, I just have to get a different Allen key. I've got the right one. These are already loose, I think. Yeah, I've not even tightened them up. So let's just pop that off. Now, I have to stand up. So I have to hold it. I can't hold it with this hand. I have to hold it with my legs. Get that off. Get the hose off. And then on here, there are marks. Now, it might show up. I might have to put a picture in. Yeah, I'll have to put a picture in because it's not going to focus. Basically, we've got lines here that there weren't before, and I can feel them with my nail. There's a step vertically there. And there's like lines up here as well. One there, one there, one there. And then at the front on this section you can actually see the line around there. Yes, you can actually see the lines where the stem has dug in as it's been banged and rotated round. So that'll have to go off and get scanned. And of course the carbon will be damaged, so I suspect I'll probably end up with a new front fork. Now, I also don't know why or how the front quick release lever got undone, because the front wheel was loose. I couldn't see any marks where I've kicked it, it's not hit the ground. So it's even possible that the legs have had some stress as well, the fork legs. So, there we go. The wheel's probably alright, but you might be able to see on the windowsill. Can you see on the windowsill? There, I've got my touring stand now, so I've got my touring stand. Up here I've got a few more things from Birmingham. My sister took me down to Birmingham and back last week with some more stuff, so that's good. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you in the next vlog, whenever that might be. Take care of everybody.